Yeah. So my season record is 7-12. Lucas, your season record is five
Oh
and
my
14. But
goodness.
let's put the. It's been three straight 0-3 weeks, but let's just that just means you're due. Okay, it just means you're due. It just means that the tide will turn around. So why don't you give us your lock of the week here? Your lock of the
Hey,
week, good
I
sir.
either want to be good enough that people can ride me or good enough that people can make money fading off of me. So
Faded, baby.
so let me see here. My pick was a game we kind of talked about earlier. I'm taking Tennessee -3 against Texas A&M. I just have no idea what the mindset is going to be with A&M going on the road in a hostile environment, especially playing a team coming off of a bye in Tennessee. Now, I haven't been overly impressed with Tennessee this season, but I think Tennessee will be able to attack their secondary much like Alabama was going to be able to. Um, and I just think playing that game at in Neyland, like you said, coming off of a bye, I think Tennessee gets the win here because, like we said, the two best teams we've seen A&M play, they have lost to both of them, and I think that is going to continue against Tennessee this week as well.
I am taking for my pick of the week. I am taking the over 67.5 in Oregon and Washington. I think you have two electric quarterbacks, two electric offenses. I think both teams get in the mid 30s. I think this is a 38-35 game, 42-35, 41-35, something like that. I think Penix and Bo Nix are going to put on a show. And like you said earlier in the pod, this almost guarantees a 20-7 win for Oregon. So anyway, um, my lock of the week. I'm going to take Duke -3.5 at NC State or versus NC State. I'm just really impressed with Duke. I continue to be impressed with them, and I just think this is a situation where they're just better than NC State. I think Duke is still playing for a lot. If you look at where they are in the ACC, this is a team. They only have one ACC game so far, right? They're 4-1, 1-0 in the ACC. Um, and every time I watch NC State, now I didn't watch a lot of their game, but they gave up 41 to Marshall. Before that, they played Louisville very competitively, but Brennan Armstrong's been benched. They're playing MJ Morris. It just feels like that program's in a little bit of dysfunction, and I think Mike Elko and Duke, coming off a bye at home, I think Riley Leonard. We'll see if he plays or not, but give me Duke
I
-3.5.
don't mind that, especially is Riley Leonard expected to play? Do you know?
I don't know
Okay.
exactly. I like Duke's defense, and it's more of a play on anti
Yeah.
NC State.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Like you said, NC State had to score 48 points to beat Marshall this past week. Even against like UConn earlier in the year. I mean, that win, they only beat them by 10. UConn has not won a game yet this year. They're currently 0-5 in the regular season. So
Yeah.
no, I do not mind that play at all. I am also taking another team by 3.5 points. Um, and I am actually taking Kansas, the Fighting Landslide Colts. I'm taking them, Jalen Daniels or not. I believe he's still going to be like a game time decision, but I am taking Kansas -3 on the road at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State actually had a pretty big win last week against Kansas State, so that worries me a
Yep.
little bit. Alan Bowman actually looked pretty good. It looks like they finally settled on him as their quarterback, but I just think Kansas is going to be able to figure it out. I think they're going to be able to score some points against Oklahoma State. I think Kansas knows they have an opportunity available to them to potentially uh, maybe challenge either Texas or Oklahoma and kind of be that third best team um, in the Big 12. So I am taking them. I like their offense. I like how diverse, like even with Jalen Daniels out, they're like, screw it, we're just going to run it about 60 times and we're going to gain over 400 yards against UCF. So give me the Jayhawks -3.5 against Oklahoma State.
It really is frustrating betting college football and just not knowing who's going to
I
play
know.
day like game to game. Like expecting to see Jalen Daniels play, and then it's like, oh nope, there's Bean.
Literally
Like, oh wait,
10
where's
minutes before they kick.
you
Yeah.
just no idea. The Big Ten started to implement like
Yep.
mandatory like injury updates like 2 hours before, and I wish more conferences would do that, but I don't think coaches will want to do that at all. All right, give us your underdog of the week, your upset pick.
Upset pick. So, speaking of gambling, we have a team that perfected the craft of it, except they got caught. And I'm taking Iowa State +3.5 at Cincinnati. I think Iowa State's found something with Rocco Becht in this offense. They ever since that Ohio loss, they had a nice win. They had they took care of business against TCU this past week. They're now 3-3. They win this. There's a really good chance that they could make a bowl, and that seemed kind of far fetched just a few weeks ago when this offense was very anemic, could barely score 10 points a game. But I think they've started to turn it around. Meanwhile, I just don't think Cincy is really all that good. I think this is a close, contested game. That's why I don't think, even if Cincinnati wins, I don't think it's by more than a field goal. Because even when Iowa State loses, it's by like a field goal or less, it seems like every single time. So give me Iowa State plus 3.5 on the road at Cincinnati.
Like that, yeah. Iowa State 2-1 in conference. They just beat TCU by 13. Like did it
Yeah,
pretty
they beat
easily.
Oklahoma
So
State a couple weeks
Cyclones
ago
playing well.
too. Like,
Yep, Cyclones playing well. All right, give me the short favorite on the road as well. Give me USC plus 2.5 at Notre Dame. Fourth straight week for Notre Dame. They're playing a really tough team, and I know USC was pushed to the brink, and USC's been playing with fire for the last handful of games. But Notre Dame, I just wonder what they're going to have left. I mean, you're talking about Ohio State, Duke, Louisville. This is the fourth straight week they played a ranked team. They're 1-2 in those games. You just wonder what are they going to have left, just physically. Now, I do expect a higher scoring game. I think they'll be able to score, but man, oh man, I'm getting USC as a dog in that spot. Give me USC plus 2.5 all day.
hard not with Caleb Williams to not take them as an underdog when you have the best player in
That's
the
what I'm
country.
saying. All right,